Nation, it's your host Heather. I'm back with another episode of the Sohee Slays podcast. And I feel like today's episode is going to hit a lot of people and trying to figure out, a little bit of balance. I feel like balance is such a buzzword right now. It's like trying to find balance in everything that I do. Today, I have Sohee with me, and she is okay. I had to write down a list, okay, because you are a high achieving woman, and you just launched, or you just had a book come to it was called the Inner Game: Secrets of High Achieving Women for Navigating Work, Life, and Mindset. It came out March 5th, so we're still relatively newish. But on top of being an author, okay, this is your second book. The first book you released is a bestseller, but on top of that, you're like a top leadership coach. You're involved with the Forbes Coaches Council. You've worked with top Fortune 500 companies, Netflix, Fox, Disney, Shondaland, one of my favorites. But I mean, literally, you are the high achieving woman that you are referencing in your book. So, I mean, it's not, the fact that I had to write down all of this stuff should say so much, because here's the thing is that's not, normally I don't have to do that for a lot of people, but I didn't even report. So yeah, I didn't even say half the stuff that your agent sent me on your one sheet. And I was like, God dang, what is she doing? And she's a mother of three. Can you tell me the secrets? Because I'm dying.
Well, unpack it here.
I'm like, holy smokes, I didn't even write down all of it. Okay, so, but before we dive into today's episode, give us a little something about yourself, and then you're going to spill secrets. You're going to spill all the tea. I'm here for it.
Heather, I think that's the best intro into a podcast that I've had in a while. Listen, what I say is I'm a work in progress. And the reason why I get to do all of those things is I follow my intuition as much as possible. So we can talk about that. And, that's where it's been the most, if we call anything successful or what does success look like for me, it's being able to follow my own intuition, which allows me to have joy in the work that I do. So that's how I do it, is I follow the intuition, the joy, the breadcrumbs, the things that allow me to also use my superpowers, which is being a top executive coach, because that is what I'm in service of, using my superpowers of deep connective listening, empathy, being able to ask really nuanced and challenging or questions that people haven't thought of. And they give me the look of like, oh, wow, that's a good question. So when I'm able to do all of that, that's when things come out exponentially, which makes it look like I'm doing so much. I'm just in the realm of using my superpowers.
Jeez. Okay, we're gonna unpack this. I'm ready. I'm ready to dive in right now. I had to put my notebook on the desk. I'm like, all right, I'm here to listen. Okay, so I love that you say that. I'm a big intuition person myself. I love doing that, and I think also too, sometimes people don't realize what their intuition is because outside noise, fear, all of that stuff starts playing a part. So let's dive in to these secrets in which you have in your book. I'm really interested in this inner game that you are referencing here.
Yeah.
So tell me.
Listen, I'll start by saying that the book, it was a 2-year journey where I did a lot of research with the women that I coach, both that I coach, and the successful women in my community that I get to interact with. And being a curious person, which really lends itself well to coaching, allowed me to really get curious about, okay, well, what makes these women successful? What is that thing? Kind of like what you and I are talking about here. What is the thing? What's the unlock? What's the hack? How do we do this thing called life and do it well? And so that led me to a curiosity of surveying these women around decades. So if you think about, okay, in your 20s, what is that thing, that challenge, and how do we overcome that? In your 30s and 40s and 50s, and now 60s and 70s, So that was my first set of research looking at what are those things that allow people to overcome certain challenges that we all go through typically in those milestones, whether it's first job, first time leading a team, or I don't know, being in a relationship, whatever that looks like in that milestone. And then I realized, okay, that's the first round of surveys. And as I was reading and getting into the analysis, I was like, look, there's something else here. And so I went back and did a whole another round of surveys. And what I found, and why the book is titled that way, is that the tie through for what makes people successful in whatever decade, whatever situation, whether at work or life, is mindset, capital M. Capital M mindset. Ooh, yes, I love that look on your face. Heather, you're like, what?
Okay, because I feel like, look, that's a buzzword. That's a
It
buzzword,
is.
and people are like, "Well, what do you mean my mindset?" Like I hear it all the time.
Yes. So let me just demystify it and make it super easy to understand. In essence, mindset is the way your brain or your inner voice frames a situation.
Mm,
So, for example, coming into this podcast, what was my inner narrative? Is this something that I'm nervous about, or is my inner voice saying, "Oh my God, what are you going to talk about? Everyone's heard it. You have nothing new to add." That inner narrative will allow me to shrink in this conversation. I will show up literally not my best self, energetically not engaged, probably more about my insecurities and my inner voice than being here in the moment with you.
mm.
Versus if my mindset or that inner voice is like, this is going to be fun. Heather, I know she's going to ask great questions. I've heard her podcast. This is really amazing. I have so much to add. I'm looking forward to it. That literally one-to-one correlation will allow me to show up differently, energetically ready and excited about the talk. There is a one-to-one, meaning how we frame that situation, our inner voice, our brain, what it's saying about the situation literally changes our energy and it changes how we show up.
Interesting.
So, when we can understand and lock into, ooh, what is my mind telling me right now? And how do I reframe it, that unsupportive thought, to something that is in service of me? That then helps you overcome the nerves, the fear, the inner critic, the imposter syndrome, all the things that we all feel in life. So, again, the simplified version of this is be aware of what your inner voice, inner critic, your mind is telling you, and then how can you help reframe to a supportive one.
Is that's like the biggest secret? That's like one of the like biggest things in like the inner game is the inner game referencing that
That
inner
is.
voice.
That's yes. So it was being a coach. I'm a firm believer of practicing what I preach. So I get coached. And in one of our sessions, we were talking about this. We're like, gosh, it's always like, it's my own internal. And she was like, oh gosh, it's like an inner game. I was like, yes, it's absolutely an inner game that we get to play with ourselves. It's our mindset. And so in this book, what you see is you look at any chapter when I'm talking about imposter syndrome, when I'm talking about
Mhm.
mentors, or work-life challenges, or what keeps these women up at night, or the worst advice they've ever received, or the best advice they've ever received. The tie through there is how their mindset is and in going through any of those situations.
Okay, so question then,
Yes, bring the
because sometimes I even find myself like, right, like you don't even realize you're doing it. So one, self-awareness, but two, like sometimes things are just so crazy, so chaotic that you yourself are having a hard time pulling yourself out of it to change your mindset. And therefore I start leaning on other people around me to kind of point some things out. um my question is that part of like the inner game, right? Is that part of digesting what other people, I mean, hopefully they're positive people that are around you. If they're not, kick them
Mhm.
to the curb. um you can say that I told you to do that. But my thing is like, I feel like sometimes I just get so wrapped up in what's happening and what's going on. And yes, you can take steps back, but it's like if you're in the thick of it, like when we were first starting Slay AF, our creative studio, that does like all of this marketing, digital marketing, and all this kind of stuff, like that is something that we started from scratch. And so she slays, like, yes, that helps, but we were going through it. We were like, what am I doing? Can I even do this? Like, struggle bus times a million. I was riding that thing freaking every day. The struggle bus and I were friends. So
Yeah.
when you're in that deep though, like how do you then combat?
Well, I love that you shared that example because how do you think you did it?
Holding on for dear life is what I did. No, I mean I did, and that's probably where my reference comes from. I could not pull myself out of it. Like I would pull myself
Mm,
out of it for a little bit, but I would go right back into it. Because things were just so difficult and
mhm,
a lot more difficult than what I initially thought it was going to be. And I'm someone who thrives on a challenge. I love me a
mhm,
challenge, but
mhm.
this one was doing me in. And there were like talks to my mom, talks to Chauncey, talks to friends. Like they were like, okay, Heather's going through it like right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And it
I mean, I
ended
love
up for a solid year.
yeah. Oh gosh, thank you for sharing. That's really very open and honest and vulnerable. Thank you for sharing that because I think a lot of us are in that situation now more than ever. And what I'm hearing you say in that is like a bit of imposter syndrome, a bit of fear, a bit of inner critic, all of that loud stuff ringing true.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that happens to many of us, me as well, as I try to do different things that feel risky and scary. I will feel all the fears. And what I also hear in what you said is like there was still a glimmer of hope. Like you kind of
Mm-hmm.
moved forward day by day. So my when people tell me like how do I even deal with this? It's one, I'm a passionate believer of micro actions. It's exactly what you did. It's take a step
Ah.
forward. When you're in the thick of it and you're like, oh my God, everything is ringing true. I'm like in it. I don't believe I could do this. Whatever that thinking or feeling is, you take a micro action forward. Just what is
Mhm.
that next step that will get you one step closer to wherever you're trying to go, that goal. Okay, so that's one thing. And that's what you did. And that's what I try to do when I'm in the thick of it and I'm overwhelmed. Writing a book, I'm a mom of three, running a business, all the things. I literally, there are moments in my day when I take a deep breath. And by the way, there's brain research around taking a deep breath that
Yes.
allows you. I saw you do that right now.
I was like,
It
I literally just did it.
something as simple as taking a breath allows you to access the frontal part of your brain, which in essence is just allows us to be more strategic versus reactive. That's the other part of our more reptilian part of our brain.
Mhm.
So that breath is super important. So doing that gives us the power to do that next step. Okay, I feel overwhelmed, but what's that step anyway? So that aside, I think it's absolutely normal to want to lifeline everything. Oh my God, I'm in like the thick of it. Mom, tell me what to do. Bestie, what is this?
Mhm.
Friends, mentors, all that. And I think that that is okay within reason. So, of course, we want to have people reflect for us what's happening or what they think we should do. And I
Mhm.
caution that because sometimes that moves us away from our intuition.
Oh. Okay. Continue. I'm listening.
Especially as women, and because I coach high achieving women, and you mentioned me being one, I do what I know from lived experience, right? It's like I am one, I coach those people. Let me just be clear. And what I know to be true for women in particular is that we tend to do this. Heather, what do you think I should do? Bestie, what do you think I should do? Mom, what do you think I should do? And if we give them too much credit in the sense of like they know better than I do, sometimes that really pulls us away from our instincts.
Ooh. Okay. So, and I'm just going to go through my experience because I feel like, look, I mean, I'm not the only one on the struggle bus or,
No.
my thing is, I think when you're in it that deep, um, and you're searching for outside guidance, it's almost as if you can't hear your intuition, or
Mhm,
you can't feel your gut instincts,
mhm,
um, because you're so in your head about how everything is like rough at this moment, and you're
mhm,
hoping that there is a, break coming here sometime,
mhm,
but you just don't know when. So you're kind of just like, okay, what am I doing wrong? What needs to be changed at that point in time? So I think for a lot of us, like when we do seek outside counsel, it's because I don't think a lot of us, one, we don't know what to do, obviously, but two, I don't think we realize, like, we're not in touch with our intuition, or we don't hear it.
mhm.
So
I think
what do we do there?
yeah, no, I love that point because that is true for so many of us. It took me a long time to access what I call my instincts and intuition. And it's still a like talk about the game. It's still a game I play. Like what is true for me, right? Um, and what we know just from brain research, human behavior, and overwhelm, what we know is that when those things are big, there's a lot of fears. And when you layer on top of that advice and shoulds, everything gets like kind of like we're making pie or whatever, like we're packing it on layer after layer. It becomes too much. So no wonder you're not in tune with the intuition, because not only is there fear that's like overriding everything, then you're trying to say, "Oh my gosh, no, that person knows better than I do. Oh, that they have a point. Oh, they have a point." Everything gets muddied. It
Mm,
gets muddied. So I'm not, by the way, saying that we shouldn't ask for advice and guidance. There are absolutely times when we need to look outward and go, okay, so and so, what do you think? Now, here's my guidance around that. Go to the one or two people that you trust, that
mm,
you know can provide a really good point of view. Don't just generically, blanketly go to anyone, right? So be intentional about who you go to seek guidance. That being the first thing. And then secondly, I would say we have to be able to access what the fears are. So if in that moment it's like, "Oh my god, I feel like I'm a failure and I don't know what the hell I'm doing," we have to give that air. We have to give words to it.
okay.
So if we don't know, we're just in a general state of overwhelm, it just compounds everything. So my point being, Heather, in that specific situation, being able to say, okay, I'm fearful that what, fill in the blank, this is going to fail, it's not going to be successful, I'm going to look like a jerk, or I'm not going to look, whatever that fear is, you have to be able to name it, identify it, in order to move through the thickness.
Mhm.
That makes
Mhm.
sense? So if I was in your situation and I was starting up all the things and trying to make it successful, I'd be like, "I'm really scared. What if it's not successful? I might disappoint people." For example, right? So being able to say that then allows me to identify what that is for me, clear some of that out, not to say it's gonna go away, but identifying it allows you to then identify that step forward that feels
Mm,
more true for you.
true. Okay. Okay, so
That's inner game
giving,
stuff.
yeah, 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 I know. Well, you're giving it a name of sorts. You're putting,
Yeah.
like you said, you're putting words to it so that it takes away this mystifying, I don't know, power that tends to live in our brains.
Our
Yeah.
brains are really tricky, it wants to like keep us safe. It wants to keep us routine because we have the survival instincts. And that's what it looks like in modern times. It amplifies fear so that we stay safe and secure because that's
Mhm.
what its job is. And our job is to go, okay, I hear you. Here's how I'm going to move forward anyway.
Yeah. So, as part of like the secrets for the inner game and all this kind of stuff, what other like, is that like just mainly the main takeaway? Are there other things that we should be considering? Because the inner game, I think, is us just having our inner dialogue with our brain.
It is, and it's a central theme. I'll say that. And in the first, so this book, you can jump into any part of any book, and it's not a traditional like you got to start from chapter 1 into chapter 20. So it was designed where the drop into the book is like a dinner conversation. So it's like you and I
Ooh.
are in, yeah, you're in a conversation with me and my high achieving female friends over dinner. And the reason why that's the context of the book is because there's something super connective about eating and exchanging food that allows people to open up differently than if you're just like sitting there. And this book isn't a let me tell you what to do type of book. It's more of a have a conversation with us. Know that you are not alone in your challenge. Know that we all go through these challenges. And the first step is to get real and open up about it and to identify what is your main dominant mindset. So there's like a set of like 7 or 8 mindsets. Is it people pleasing? Is it perfectionism? Is it all these different types of mindsets that's ruling you? And then let's work through that.
That's so interesting to me because I mean, all of the above, maybe sometimes. And a lot of people say
Probably.
this, like, it depends on what degree we're talking about. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
so
it's true.
I'm interested in, like, I love this, like, inner game. Sometimes, and I think that's a reframe too, because I feel like a lot of people associate this with with like an inner war. Like it's like their head and heart are saying two different things, or their head and their body are. So it's like it's almost like a reframe in the way that you even speak about it, because I still think that it's referencing the same thing.
Mhm, mhm. And I love how you reference that because a lot of people are at war with their head and their heart. It's, there's a tension. And the name is intentional, meaning like we have the power to play that game.
Mm.
We have the power to be able to say, okay, mindset, I hear you. I see the game you're playing, and let me reframe it so that I can move forward to the outcome that I want or the goal that I have. And I've just seen so much goodness and so much success in however that person defines success happen when they can unlock the power of playing that inner game stuff for themselves.
Oh, I love that. I also want to make sure that we hit on this. We've hit on a few buzzwords, but balance is
Mm.
another buzzword that
Mhm.
everybody talks about. Mindset, balance, work, life, all the freaking things. Um how do you feel about that? About that being a buzzword? Because sometimes I feel like with buzzwords, they're just they kind of like really tone down the actual message that people are trying to
Mhm.
actually say.
I will say this as loudly as I can. If I could yell this from the mountaintops, Heather, I would. I I think everybody needs to break up with balance.
Oh, facts. That's way too hard. It's
Did you see that exhale you just did?
I was like, thanks for giving me permission to like end this relationship. Like,
You need to end it right now, text balance and say we are done.
it's over. In the words of Taylor Swift, we ain't ever getting back together. Like,
That's right. That's right. No looking back. We are done.
we're done.
Done. Here's the thing. Women, through whether it's through time or conditioning, macro, societal, whatever, we're taught very early on that that's what success looks like. We have to balance, and that's why. I mean, I'll say that it's not a buzzword. It's been around ever since I started my corporate career, like 20 years ago. Balance. You got to balance it all. You got to do this and do that. Anytime a woman is successful, the first question aimed at me or anybody successful woman wise is, how do you balance it all? And my personal philosophy is one, definitely break up with balance, but also I have an allergic reaction to that word. It is, in my perspective, not possible to balance it all unless you want burnout, unless you want resentment, unless you want to feel completely misaligned with your instincts, then fine, chase that. But if that's not what you want, then we have got to reframe this whole balance thing. It's not doable. It's not.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay,
That's the
elaborate
real
further. Elaborate further, because I feel like you're giving people a little bit of a reason to be like, screw this.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I will say I tried it. The reason why I have this personal philosophy and view is that my first book, Mommy Tracked, it's on Amazon, is all about like, how do you break up with it? I was completely in burnout mode. I was, had 3 young kids, all under 5 at the time.
Whoo,
Oh, yeah.
whoo, that's a
Oh,
lot.
yeah. It was not that. Oh, and I was leading a really large team for a global corporation, had the corner office, working 60, 70 hours. And oh, yes, Heather, I did decide to coach my daughter's soccer team also. Talk about the poster child for balance. Let me try to balance it all. So one day, on the very edge of my tether, of my rope, of everything, my ex-husband at the time took a photo of me, which is now the epitome of burnout, where I literally was splayed out on my couch, asleep, flanked by my children. Now, I was asleep sitting up. That's the thing.
Oh my
I fell
goodness.
so hard asleep, sitting up with all 3 kids around me, and he happened to capture that because he thought it was funny, and that is the epitome of what balance did to me, where I was burnt out, resentful, completely with no energy and no desire to do anything other than fall asleep sitting up.
Oh my gosh. I feel like so many people can relate to this feeling. Like, I can't
Mhm.
even tell you how many times I don't even have kids, okay? So the fact that you're doing all the things with kids, I mean, I commend you, hands down. I don't even know how you do it. Because I don't even
I
know
get
how
a
most
lot
moms
of
do it, honestly. I really don't. My sister has 5 kids, and I say how. Um, but my thing is like, I understand there's been those moments I've dealt with burnout. Chauncey and I both have health issues where it's like if we push too hard, like she has fibromyalgia, so that'll flare up and it'll totally take her out. I have Epstein-Barr, which is kind of like an autoimmune disease. And
Mhm.
so if I push too hard, I'm done and I'm out for like 2 months, three
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a moment where I am literally on the phone with her. She's on speaker and she's on my chest, like freaking talking to me. And I'm like, Chauncey, I am laying on my floor right now, in the middle of my floor, just tired. I don't want to
Yeah.
move. I should move because I'm hungry, but I don't even have the energy to move off this floor right now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
done.
And that is such a real look into many women's lives.
Mhm.
And what I know to be true is that the ambitious women that come to me for coaching, they are on the brink of burnout because they are abiding by that balance philosophy or definition of success. And they are pushing beyond, like for way too long, to where our body is like, no more, I can't take it.
Mm,
Can't take it. I'm screaming at you, but you're not listening to me. And I'm still pushing for, we white knuckle through it. We like hold on really tight, right? Every moment. You know what I'm talking about, that moment when
I
you're like, I'm
do.
so, hey, I'm white knuckling. I've done that too. And what I offer instead is this mindset of honoring the season we're in
Mm,
and then let go of everything else. So what that means is, if I were to do my time over with my little kids at that time to avoid that burnout balance thing, I would have leaned into the fact that I have little ones, perhaps not volunteered for the soccer coaching, let that go, and also get way more help in doing the household duties, in perhaps also saying, hey, I'm not going to take that project on at work. Not right now.
yeah.
Perhaps later, please keep me on that list for later, but right now, I'm exhausted. I stay up, a lot because my kids are little and sick and one and all the things that come with
Mm,
toddler and little babyhood, and I would have given myself that permission,
mm,
lean into that rather than do that and then kill it at work and then at home and wear the good clothes and work out and do all the things that we really are, overdoing,
yeah.
capital O.
Yeah. That is so, God, I feel like that is so true. And it speaks to, I think, a lot of people and women's need sometimes to feel like it's okay to not have everything happening all at once.
Yes.
Um, because especially if you're an ambitious woman, like, look, I don't have a whole bunch of patience. I want the things right now. Okay. I move fast. I know this about myself.
Yes. I can tell
I
that about
know
you too.
this. I move fast. I want it now. It's taken too long. I actively practice patience all the time. But I also have gotten to the point, I want to say recently, where I've had to practice patience with myself, where
Mm.
it's like, okay, look, you've just pulled 3 weeks back to back. You've maybe had 2 days off. I think you can take the rest of the today off. You've pulled half a day. You can take the rest of the day off and go hang out on the couch. You'll be just
Mhm,
fine. Like you can
mhm.
get to the stuff later. I think it's those decisions because I feel like if you are an overachiever or you are high achieving, you're ambitious, you're like, do, 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 do. I have so many things I have to do so I can delegate to people, and delegating to people takes time. So it's like you are literally carving out every single aspect of your day, which is great to a degree, but I feel like it's almost detrimental if that is the 100% what it is all the time.
Oh, Heather, you are right on the money about it. Absolutely. I mean, the practice is one, give ourselves permission, step one, to actually take 2 hours to do nothing.
Mm.
Right? So that was my work too, is okay, I can't sustain this and my body is literally telling me I can't. So then what's the alternative? Okay, let me start with giving myself permission because I have a fear that if I don't produce and I don't do the things, then I'm not going to keep up. I'm not going to achieve the thing. I'm not going to be successful. Whatever the reasons are, I had to get real with myself.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of what I would say, not blatantly or that we want to do harm, but we lie to ourselves about these things, right? Like, let's give ourselves permission first.
Yeah. Yes.
And then secondly, it's leaning into the discomfort of not producing or not doing.
On the money. Right there. On the money. It is so uncomfortable. If you are so used to the doing aspect of things, the not doing drives you insane. You're like,
Uh-huh.
there's so much I could be getting done right now, but instead I am choosing to sit on this couch and take a
Yeah.
break. And it's like, there's a lot of reprogramming in that.
Yes, it's a lot of undoing. And like I said, there's the capital D discomfort. Again, the work that I do with the women, it's okay, we got to give you permission to, and then lean into that discomfort. Exactly what I just told you. And that is the most scary thing for high achieving women. The silence, oh my God, what am I going to do? I have to like actually hear my own thoughts.
I mean, who wants to sit there with their own thoughts a lot of times? I mean, we did a chunk of us did that during the pandemic, and we're still trying to figure stuff out.
Well, I mean, you make a really good point. The pandemic, the forced quietness allowed us to, some of us, tap into, okay, well, do I really want to be doing this? And so there was a lot of workforce shifts, a lot of breakups, a lot of getting togethers, a lot of big things happened in the quiet. So here's the thing. We know that if we tap into the quiet and whatever our instincts are saying, it might require us to do things differently, and that's hard.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, that's hard and scary and all the things, and I get that.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I feel like you and I could go on and on about this kind of stuff, but to wrap up this
Oh
conversation,
gosh, that went quickly.
I know, right? I'm like, we are at 35 minutes into this. But to wrap up this conversation, let's leave the audience with some action items for, playing this inner game and for totally breaking up with balance.
Okay. I'll work backwards. So to break up with balance, one, give yourself permission to rest. That's one thing. Let's start there. Micro action. Okay. And then with regard to the inner game, I'm going to encourage people to pick up the book to really identify. And oh, by the way, on my website, there is a guide for identifying which is your dominant mindset. So
Ooh.
they can go, yes. So you don't even have to read the whole book. This is for people that really want to get to it and go, okay, here's my dominant mindset. Some of these ring true for me more often than others, or it's perfectionist all the time. So that then you have start with the level of awareness, right? You said that up front. It's like you have
Mhm.
to start with a level of awareness. So if you don't even
Mhm.
know what mindset you're operating from, start there and then start to create some micro actions for yourself based on that. But that's what I would recommend is create awareness for yourself.
Mm, I love that. And Slay Nation, if you don't want to go to our website directly, if you actually subscribe to our newsletter, we'll link to it when her episode comes out, because I feel like this could help so many people. I'm gonna be going there and doing it because I love learning about myself and how I think and operate and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I feel like I do know, but it's always nice to have more insight.
I love that. Yes. And that is always my hope to help as many women as possible.
Oh my gosh. All right. Where can people find you, follow you, all the things? We know the book is out already.
The book is out, it's on Amazon, and I interact most on my website. So come find me on my website, www.soheejunphd.com. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm also on Instagram at soheejun_PhD.
All right, Sohee, thank you so much for joining us. Slay Nation, I hope you learned quite a bit. I did. I hope you got some permission to break up with balance and maybe give yourself a little bit of a break and quit being so hard on yourself.
So
Until
much.
next time, we will catch you later, Slay Nation. Thanks so much for listening.